Check out Paddy Power's new and exclusive Cash Card Plus, available to use online, at ATMs, or even down the local. Paddy Power, you beauty.
Hello there, welcome along to the Racing Post Weekend Postcast. Fantastic Saturday and Sunday of action as the final clues drop before the Cheltenham Festival, which is now just 3 weeks till Gold Cup Day, so we're getting very close. I'm Bruce Millington. I'm delighted to be joined by my Racing Post colleagues Graham Rodway and Paul Keeley, and also from Paddy Power, we've got Rob Catterson. So we're going to be looking at Kempton, Newcastle, Lingfield, Ferryhouse Saturday, and then on Sunday we've got a big race down at Fontwell and some decent stuff at Naas. We've got all the weekend best bets as well. So first of all, welcome back to the postcast to Graham Rodway, who's been on paternity leave. Graham, what did you, not you, but your wife have, a boy or a girl?
Boy, yeah.
And what's he called?
Evan.
Evan?
Yeah.
Named after Evan Williams?
Of course, yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
All going well, yeah?
All going well, yeah. Lacking a bit of sleep, but I suppose
You
that's
look pretty fresh.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, mind you, you're quite bloodshot, aren't you? I hope you've had plenty of time to study up in between the nappy changing, have you?
Well, there's plenty of time to do some Cheltenham study over the last couple of weeks, but we had a good look at tomorrow's cards too.
Excellent. Kills, you've just come back from 2 weeks locking yourself away writing the Racing Post guide, which went to press just about 3 hours before Thistlecrack came out, didn't it?
Yeah, typical day. I think there was a high-profile non-one again 2 days later last year as well. It goes like that, doesn't it? I mean, it's been typical of my week this week, really. I just had a horrific Saturday's punting. I backed a horse for the Ida Chase that hasn't made the cut at 20s, and it was 6s in places. And of course, we had the lovely flag woman yesterday at Chelmsford, one of the easiest 3-1 winners you'll see. And no money back.
It hasn't actually sunk in how much I lost on that, and it's just I'm trying not to think about it. Okay, let's think about Saturday then. 4 really cracking races on the box at Kempton, and we'll take them in chronological order, starting with the race that's probably got the most resonance in terms of the Cheltenham Festival. It is the BetBright Genius Adonis Hurdle, in which Charlie Parks, who Rob Catterson, your colleague Frank Hickey, is absolutely in love with, puts his Cheltenham credentials on the line. How short is he for this one, Rob?
Yeah, he sure does. He's a 4-7 chance. Obviously, he's quoted in the Supreme and the Triumph Hurdle betting, so hopefully we'll have an answer to what race he goes for at about 2 o'clock tomorrow. He's 4-7. Obviously, Nicky Henderson's got a good recent record in the race. It's 7-1 Evening Hush, 8-1 Master, Blue Eyes. Iblio's the interesting one for Venetia Williams at 10s, and it's 12s bar.
OK, G-Rod, is Charlie Parks an absolute certainty?
He looks very, very good, doesn't he? So he's going to be very hard to beat. He's already beaten one of the big dangers, Master Blue Eyes, who's quite a smart flat horse. And 4-7 looks about the right price. I would expect him to win, and maybe Master Blue Eyes to follow him home. OK, and 10 runners means there's a bit of each way angle if we can find one to get in the place at a big price. Keels, what do you think Charlie Parks will do, A, tomorrow, and B, at the festival?
Well, I mean, the market tells you, and everybody seems to think that Charlie Parks runs in the Supreme, where we get an £8 weight allowance, and Defi de Sol, who's been favourite for the Triumph for ages, will go in the Triumph. But the same owner, obviously, JP McManus. I question whether that will happen. I mean, if you're an anti-post punter, I mean, obviously there's lots of non-run and no bet now. Thing is, if the ground looks like being much softer on the Tuesday than it does on the Friday, there's every possibility that they'll switch, because Defi de Sol wants soft ground. Really acts on it well, and Charlie Parks apparently doesn't want soft ground. So, if you're going to have an anti-post bet, then do it non-run and no bet. Take the shorter odds, because it could switch.
What do you think of Charlie Parks?
Well, I think he really, really did look the part the other day. And if you listen to the rumours going around, he's the best 4-year-old that Nicky Henderson's ever had. There's been lots and lots of gossip about it, and he backed it up on the track because he absolutely smashed up Master Blue Eyes. He gave him weight as well. He won by 8 lengths on the bridle. I think Master Blue Eyes come out and won very easily since then. He's just going to be very hard to beat. I think the one to chase him home is probably Evening Hush, who probably wasn't at her best at Chepstow when she was second to Defi de Soy. I mean, he obviously smashed her up there, but she's getting a bit of weight, and she looked quite talented on the first 2 starts.
Evening Hush, trained by Evan Williams.
Yeah, sure enough.
Yeah. You're having a bit on that. Rob, did you say that you quite like this Iblio of Venetia's in this race?
Well, I didn't know obviously an awful lot about it. It's just from its France form. It beat Don Bursey in its last run in France, and of course Don Bursey's won 3 times since. So Obviously, it's with Venetia Williams now. So I just thought at the prices, if you're looking for something to follow home, Charlie Parks, that could be the interesting one. But it could be pretty straightforward for Charlie Parks en route to the festival.
Righty-ho, the 225 is the Bet-Bright best for festival betting. Pendle Novices Chase, disappointing field of only 4, but still reasonably competitive at the head of the market, Rob.
Yeah, it's a race Paul Nicholls has farmed in recent years. He's got Frodon here, the 5-year-old. He's a 4-7 chance. Charmix is 5-2. Gold Present is 6s, and then we've got Zigger Zagger at 100-1.
G-Rod, what's the best 4-7 shot? Charlie Parks or Frodon?
Probably Charlie Parks, but I do think Frodon will win as well. I was impressed with the way he travelled through the race in quite a hot contest over Christmas. The one that might bite unluckily fell and left Royal Vacation to go and win, but obviously that hacked up next time at Cheltenham. Frodon was going with them, cut to the home turn, but didn't appear to stay. Last time out, Musselburgh absolutely bolted up down in trip, and he's right trip again here. He's got plenty in hand on the ratings. I see Frodon as an easy winner.
Do you, Kills?
I think he'd probably win. I don't think it'd be easy if Charmix stands up and runs to his best. I mean, there's £8 between them on official ratings. Our handicapper has got Charmix slightly ahead. I do think he can whack one every now and again, but I think he's quite talented. Frodon most likely winner, but if I was going to have a bet in the race, which I probably won't, it'd be Charmix.
Yes, you will. I'll give it that. I won't have a bet in it.
I think he's more of a stayer, Charmix. I've seen him a few times. I think they're going to have to blast him here on that sort of ground around this sharp track. I just wonder if that will suit him.
Okay, the 3 o'clock, we've got the Sky Bet Dovecote Novices Hurdle. Is Capitan Fav here, Rob?
Yeah, he is, Fav. He's been, I suppose, easy enough to back for most of the week. We were 2-1 this morning, and since Dex, he's now 9-4. River Wild is 7-2. Elgin for Alan King is 4s. 5-1 Captain Foray and Peter the Mayo Man, and 16's Bar.
Okay, so after those 2 4-7 pokes, it gets a bit more competitive now, G-Rod. What's the betting strategy here?
Elgin's actually a bit of a bigger price than I thought he would. I thought Elgin would be favourite. I think that was pretty smart form last time out when he was second at Haydock. I fancied Peter the Mayo Man, though, at the prices. It caught my eye finishing well at Musselburgh last time out, and I think that race might be a little bit underestimated. I think it was quite a hot contest. He's previously shown plenty of ability, winning 3 times. I think he can step up again.
Okay, who do you like, Kills?
Well, a couple of starts ago for Capitan beat Captain Forrest. Captain Forrest was staying on late. I am absolutely convinced that the best horse in this race in the future will be Captain Forrest. He'd probably end up being a chaser, a staying chaser maybe, but he's a real big boat of a horse, and he improved quite dramatically from his first run to his second, and if he improves again, he'll be a player. And I think he's been nibbled at in the week as well, so I think, Dan Skelton's going pretty well now, and I'd probably back him each way.
8 runners is nice, isn't it?
Yeah, if you keep the 8, yeah.
I'm sure we will. Rob, have you got a view on this race?
Not a strong view of those towards the top of the betting. I thought Elgin possibly was value. He's beaten a couple of these, including River Wild in the past, but there's been a few quid early in the week for Mr. Universe, which he was 4th to William Henry, but he should have finished 2nd. That was his first run for New Connections in a race that I don't think there's an awful lot of quality and depth. He could run well at around 16s.
Okay, at 3:35, it's the showpiece race on the card. It's the race that the Racing Post stopped sponsoring about 6 years ago, but still gets called the Racing Post Chase. It is, of course, the Bet-Bright Handicap Chase. Only 13 runners, which is a bit of a shame, but as competitive as ever, as Rob's show of betting will reveal.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot of previous Kempton winners in the lineup as well. We've got Double Shuffle at 9-2. Irish Saint is 11-2. It's then 7-1 last year's winner, Theatre Guide, and 3 Musketeers. 8-1 Viva Steve, 10-1 Finger on the Switch, and 12's Bar.
I make it 7 of the 13 of 1 at the triangular Sunbury venue. G-Rod, kick off. Who wins?
It's a really interesting race for me because I think there's a big race in Irish Saint off this mark, but I'm not entirely convinced that 3 miles is his trip, and I think he's short enough in the betting. So then you go on to a few other horses that have basically been on my radar for ages. 3 Musketeers. I mean, I've been waiting for this horse to step up to 3 miles all season. He just looked like a 3-miler to me ever since I saw him running last season. And I couldn't believe that he was started off over 2.5 for his first 3 starts. He finally got it right last time out Market Raisin when blasted from the front. The problem with him is I just wonder if he might be a bit of a small field bully nowadays. He wears cheap pieces, and I hope he's got the tactical speed to stay in it. I think he'll run really well if he does. Viva Steve is actually the one I'm going to back, though. Nice winner on his debut for Fergal O'Brien, and I thought he ran very well at Warwick last time out. He travelled very strongly through that race. Maybe he didn't stay, but he also made a terrible error about 5 or 6 out that put paid to his chance, and he would have finished a lot closer without that. Now, I tipped him in this race last year off a £8 lower mark, and he was outpaced and stayed on, finishing 6th, but he looks like an improved performer since joining Fergal O'Brien, and we've got Barry Geraghty booked. Obviously, a really interesting booking. The other one that is worth a mention is Triolo Delen, at a huge price probably for Nicky Henderson. He's shown absolutely nothing, but I think Kempton, flat track, good ground, that's his bag, and he's down to a lower mark than when he won the Hennessy a few years ago. I could see him running more at a big price, but Viva Steve's the bet with maybe a small each way bet on Triolo.
That was David Jennings-esque, that
It
monologue.
was, wasn't it?
Fantastic effort, Gerard. You did not draw breath. Keels, what do you
Managed
think?
to mention loads of horses and not the ones that I'm backing as well.
Oh, excellent. Right, come in.
Well, the one thing I will say...
Hang on a sec. Who do you think Keels will be putting up?
He knows.
Does he? Okay. Who is it then?
Actually.
He wasn't listening, in other words.
The one thing I will say is that Irish Saint will look like winning.
At some point.
3 out to 2 out, yeah, because he travelled really well. He finished absolutely knackered at Sandown last time at 3 Mile and the time before, but this is 3 Mile on good ground at Kempton. If he's ever going to get it, it'd be here. But this race quite often turns into quite a stamina test, so I'd be opposing him. The main bet was Double Shuffle. He stepped up to 3 Mile course and distance over Christmas. I thought he won really well there, and he's been kept fresh for this ever since. He's only had 7 starts over fences. I think he was placed at the Cheltenham Festival last year. I think everything's good for him, and Ballycan at a bigger price as the other one, and he followed the formula of a Nigel Twiston Davis horse returning from a break to run in a big race. We've had Bally Andy a couple of weeks ago, and we had obviously Black Lion finish second in the Grand National Trial last week. Ballycan was very highly tried as a novice. He actually ran in this race last year, finished 4th at 20 to 1, but he improved again over the summer. His last 4 runs are the best 4 of his life. And if he comes back improving, I think he'll run well. But I think this is a very competitive race.
OK, Rob, I think there's another 3 horses left for you to tip if you want to just make sure the entire field have been put up on this one.
Yeah, I didn't narrow it down to 2, and the lads have mentioned it. Obviously, last year's winner, Theatre Guide, he's a stone higher than he was when he won the race, but I still think he's got a big chance. And Irish Saint, Paul obviously doesn't think that the 3 miles will suit, but he's 3 from 3 around Kempton, and he's only had 2 runs in chases since he was running in Grade 1 company as a novice hurdler or a novice chaser. I just thought he was well capable of bagging something like this. OK,
you mentioned Theatre Guide there. Let's hear from his trainer, Colin Tizard.
He's in good nick. We waited since the Welsh National one. He's been waiting for this race. So hopefully he'll come out of the race fine, run a big race on Saturday, and we'll go to the Go Cup. You've seen what he done at Cheltenham. He stays right up the hill. He could be thereabouts.
He still sounds so laid back, Mr. Tizard, doesn't he? He's got all these stars in his yard. He's got Cheltenham approaching. He's just lost poor old Thistlecrack, but he is so laid back. What a temperament that man has. We'll take a quick break and then we'll turn our attention to Newcastle.
Here's Paddy Power's latest horse racing offer. It's money back as a free bet if your horse finishes second to the SP5 in all races at one meeting today. And at one meeting every day this month. Max £25 per race, not available in shops. 18 plus, gambleaware.co.uk.
OK, from 3 miles on good ground at Kempton to 4 mile, 1 furlong on very heavy ground at Newcastle at 2:45. It's the Betfred Ida Chase. 19 go to post. Who's fav, Rob Catterson?
Yeah, at the moment it's Shotgun Paddy. Obviously, there's been a bit of a change in the betting since the 2 Irish horses weren't declared. So Shotgun Paddy's 11 to 2, Mystery's a 13 to 2 chance. It's an 8 to 1 about Knock and Rawley, 10 to 1 Portrait King and Russ Blanc, and 12's Bar.
OK, G-Rod, this is not going to be run at a breakneck speed, is it? This will be a long, slow affair. Who will be the last horse standing?
Yeah, it will be a bit like that. Heavy ground, 4 miles. Obviously, Shotgun Paddy's going to come into it. He loves those sort of conditions, and he ran an absolute cracker in the race at Warwick last time. That I actually think is quite good form. The runner-up, Good to Know's come out and won nicely at Hereford since. Obviously, I've tipped Viva Steve, who was well beaten in that race for the Bet Bright. So I'm concentrating on that race to try and find the winner. I'm expecting Shotgun Paddy to run a cracker, but he's short enough in the betting, and the one I'm going to back is Russ Blanc, who was actually 9th in that Warwick race, and then bounced right back to form at Carlisle last time out, staying on strongly over trips short of his best on soft ground. He's a dour stayer, heavy ground will really suit him, and the longer distance will be ideal. I can see him running well at double figures.
Righty-ho, Kills, who do you like?
Yeah, I have a sneak feeling that Streets of Promise has just been laid out for this race. This is a mare that really, really stays and loves. The trainer says the softer the better, the further the better. And it's only run once this year, and that was behind Good to Know and Mountainous at Hereford. Now, he was beaten a long way in the end. He finished third. But he lasted, it was she. It was a first run for more than half a year, and the ground was absolutely bottomless, and she lasted a lot longer than all the other runners who either pulled up or refused. And I think that, if she comes on for that, she's won her only start at Newcastle by 22 lengths on heavy ground. I think she's around about the 20-1 mark. I think that's a very big price for a horse that's still unexposed. You've got lots of old stages here that have been around the block a few times. You can't rule out a horse like Mountainous on heavy ground, can you? Because he just stays forever. And is in decent form, and I think this Richard Patrick claiming 7 is very, very good as an amateur, and and Kerry Lee's using him a lot, and so I think he'll run well. But it was Streets of Promise for me, and it was Court Frontier originally. I thought that was a certainty, but missed the cut by 2.
Oh, never mind. Right, what price can the lads get on their fancies, Rob? Roos Blanc for G-Rod and Streets of Promise for Kills.
Yeah, Roos Blanc is 10s and Streets of Promise 25s into 16s.
Just because Kills fancies it, yeah?
Just because Kills fancies
That's
it.
absolutely brutal. Who do you like, Rob?
Yeah, the one that I sort of have taken on board is the Kim Bailey runner, Knock on Rawley, off 133, goes on the ground, has no problems with the tripping. Kim Bailey's had 3 winners since last Saturday. His horses have very much turned that corner. They weren't going well at all, but they're running completely different these days, and I just think Knock on Rawley could be a few steps ahead of the handicapper, and has got a good run in him.
OK, let's turn our attention to the flat then, and at 3:15 at Lingfield, it's the Betway Winter Derby. It's a Group 3. I still have my jumps head on, mind you, I do for most of the year, so I can't get that excited by it, but I'm sure the flat crew will be getting very excited, and I guess Mutakayev is the horse that everyone's pretty excited about. What price is he, Rob?
Yeah, he sure is. He's the 5-4 market leader. Hard to believe he's that price when you look at his form. He's 5-4. Grand Azar, of course, loves this race. He's a 9-2 chance. It's then 6-1 about Battalion and Convey and 10's Bar. But this favourite's going to be popular.
You excited about the Winter Derby, G-Rod?
I can't say I am too excited about it. I do keep quite a close eye on the all-weather during the winter, but this just comes amongst so many good jump races that it's not one of my favourite races. It used to come after Cheltenham, didn't it? It used to be like the Saturday after Cheltenham. But
is there a good bet in there?
I expect Mutakayev should win, shouldn't he, on all-known form? I mean, his form's well above anything else in the race, and William Haggis ain't one to mess around. I mean, he'll have this plenty straight enough, you would have thought. He's obviously got to give away the £5 penalty. The interesting runner is Absolute Blast for Archie Watson right at the bottom. Obviously massively outclassed on ratings and a huge amount to find, but she should have won at Wolverhampton last time. She blew the start completely and made up an amazing amount of ground, unlucky to lose, and had run in the French Oaks on her last start in France, so she was obviously highly regarded out there. I mean, I could see her running quite well, but it is a big step up.
What price is Absolute Blast, Rob?
Absolute Blast, I can tell you, is 12-1.
12-1. OK, Kills, what do you make of this race?
Yeah, like you said, Mutakayev does have the best form. He's given £5 away and hasn't run for 161 days, so there are negatives if it's not fit. The one I'm interested in seeing how he runs, I'm not sure about betting him, but is Convey. Sir Michael Stout, 5-year-old, who has been gelded, and if you look at his form and watch some of his races, he did remarkably well to hang on to his bits and pieces until he was 5. Because I mean, he was, he had an awful lot of ability, but he wouldn't always put it in. He's actually the second highest rated horse in the race, getting £5, not that far off on his very, very best form. So we'll see what he turns out. But like I said, Stout has kept him. And if they thought there wasn't that much in him, to geld him, he's not going to be a stallion or whatever. So they obviously think there's something in him still.
Rob, will you be having a bet on this?
I wasn't until I looked at the race, and I'd never dream of tipping up a 5-4 chance. But when you look at Mutakayev's form, like beaten 3 parts of a length by Tepin, beaten 2 1/4 lengths by Postpone, he's never been out of the first 3 in 14 starts. Like, he's a Group 1 winner in waiting. I'd say the 5-4 in the morning won't even be there.
Righty-ho, let's go across to Fairyhouse, back to the jumps, and their big races at, what have we got? The 3:30, it's the out the races, Bobby Joe Chase, 9 runners, a former Gold Cup winner in there, Lord Windermere. Do we have some betting, Rob?
We don't, but I would have thought it's going to be tight at the top of the betting between Beta Eels, who doesn't go to Newcastle, and Pleasant Company. I'd say they're probably going to be around the 7-4, 2-1 mark.
We'll stick with you for the tip.
Yeah, it's a good race. It's a race Willie Mullins generally targets. It's a race that generally is a good trial for the Grand National as well. Pleasant Company is a horse who's been back for the National this week, and I just thought he ran pretty well in the Thyestes on his first run since he won at Punchestown last season. He's off 148. He's a 9-year-old. He just could be something like a hedge hunter that Willie's got a big race in. It's going to be good. It's going to be a good race. Beta Eels will love the testing conditions. I'd say Katie will try and make most like she did at Punchestown, but it's between those two. But just given the Willie Mullins record in the race, it's Pleasant Company for me.
G-Rod, do you want to put one up here?
I don't fancy anything in that, but in the previous race before that, there's also called Presenting Percy in 2:55. This one's quite an interesting runner for the same connections that saddled Maldini to win the Pertemps final last year. Looks for all the world like it's going to improve for better ground. That is the problem here. It's heavy going. But I'm really interested to see how Presenting Percy runs with a view to then going on to the festival. Possibly if the ground comes up quicker, I could see Presenting Percy running okay here and then well at Cheltenham.
Okay, Keels, anything for you in Ireland?
Yeah, I think they did the right thing with Beta Eels because, I can't imagine anyone would have backed her, because she was nearly favourite for the Ida. She would have had to carry 11 stone 12 over 4 mile 1 furlong, and they're prepping her for the National. So coming here off 10 stone 7 instead is a much better idea. She takes some beating. The horse I've been really, really disappointed with this year and last really is Wounded Warrior, who I thought would develop into a really, really good staying chaser and hasn't done so yet, but he is going in first time blinkers, and it'll probably be a decent price, and I might just have a couple of shekels on him, just a little stab, and probably lay the Dodgepot Land of Hope and Glory in the opener. I imagine it'd be fairly short.
You're going to lay that one, are you?
Yeah.
Okay, right. Before we do our naps, anything else anyone feels they want to get off their chest for Saturday's racing? G-Rod?
I'm sure there is.
We don't have to. Keels?
Yeah, there's one in Kempton in a 4:10 full shift. I don't know whether he'd be favourite or not. His form figures are dreadful, but I think it was something like 7-1 for a Cheltenham Festival handicap last year off a £6 higher mark, and he won at this track at Christmas last year as well. If he comes back to form, he'll win off a mark of 129. He's much better than that.
Rob, anything you like that isn't your nap?
There's a couple of farriers. Paul mentioned the Juvenile Hurl. The horse down the bottom, Denari de Zobo, she ran really well in the Grade 1 at Leopardstown. I just wonder, is this a prep for the Fred Winter, given that they have Mega Fortune for the Triumph?
Oh, I forgot about it. Denari de Zobo will be favourite for that road. She will and she'll win.
Yeah.
She'll win. Sorry, go on, Bob.
You're okay. And then in the bumper, he's not going to be any price, but a lot of people have been waiting for this Fulham Road to run. He's supposed to be the next Richie big thing. He can't run in the Cheltenham bumper because he's a 7-year-old, but he's not going to be a price. But it'd be nice to see what he does after waiting all this time.
Okay, G-Rod, have you found anything for us?
Yeah, the first race at Kempton, Lofberg Leader for Tom Lacey. I think is a very useful trainer. He's very early in his career, but he's got some useful types. And this one won nicely 2 outings ago. Caught the Iowa 5th last time out. It was off a career high mark in a handicap, but it shaped like he had a bit more to come. I think Lofberg Leader could run well on the 115 at Kempton.
Okay, let's get the naps.
If he doesn't win, I will be absolutely staggered. I think it's a stone cold certainty.
Graham Rodway, the horse, the race, the meeting and the confidence level.
Well, I'm really confident. The first race at Newcastle, 135, Seymour Lights for Sandy Thompson, Ryan Nicol claiming 7. I saw this horse run last time out at Musselburgh. They went a really quick pace. Monbeg Charmer won the race. It turned into a dour test of stamina. And this Seymour Lights was finishing so strongly over 3 miles. And I wrote in my notes, needs an extreme test on heavy ground. Well, he is down 2 furlongs in trip, but you ain't going to get much more of an extreme test in heavy ground than you're going to get at Newcastle. I think he'll win the first Seymour Lights.
Keels?
I'm going to go for Streets of Promise as a bit of value in the Ida Chase, which is the 245. Is it?
It is.
Newcastle. Yeah, go for that. I wouldn't say massively confident, but it's 20 at one shot. So
what price are you to win
go
tomorrow?
For it. The way it's been going, long odds against it at the moment.
Oh no, that's always when you fight back. Okay, Rob Catson, what's your Saturday nap?
Am I allowed to do a double?
Yeah, do what you like.
Okay. Yeah, I think the
Goliath.
Charlie Park's Muta KF double. It works out around 5-2. I think it's bomb-proof.
Okay, and that is Charlie Parks in the 150 at Kempton.
And if you want to back that Denaria Deso Bow, by the way, you might as well back it non-run and no bet for the Fred Winter, because if he's not happy with the handicap mark, he won't run it. And I don't think nobody's made enough of the fact she made such a bad mistake in that Grade 1 juvenile hurdle 2 out.
Yeah, I think she's really good.
I think she'd have been right on the heels of the leaders.
I think she's really good.
And if she gets a mark in the mid-130s, he has to run her.
Okey-doke. Jolly good. Right, back. Rob, we've had your double, haven't we? So that's good. We've got all the naps in, and now we're going to look at Sunday.
Here's Paddy Power's latest horse racing offer. It's money back as a free bet if your horse finishes second to the SP Fav in all races at one meeting today. And at one meeting every day this month. Max £25 per race, not available in shops. 18 plus, gambleaware.co.uk.
Welcome back. Bruce Millington, Graham Rodway, Paul Keeley and Paddy Powers. Rob Catson are looking ahead to a decent Sunday in England and Ireland. The feature race is at 3 o'clock at Fontwell, that beautiful little course in Sussex, which if you've never been to, you must. It's absolutely great, and it's their big race of the year. You've never been?
I've never been there.
How
no.
can you
Down
never have been to Fontwell? That's incredible.
Know.
Honestly, Fontwell is brilliant. If I was taking someone racing for the first time, I'd go Fontwell, because you can go in the middle, and because it's a figure of 8, you've done this, G-Rod.
Yeah.
You can just go fence to fence. It's absolutely brilliant. It's a lovely little place and well worth a visit. And at 3 o'clock on Sunday, it's their big race. It's the Topol National Spirit Hurdle. It's a Grade 2 over 2.5 miles. I don't think we've got any betting yet, Rob, have we? But I'm sure we've got some confident shouts from the lads. G-Rod, lead on.
Well, we've got our old favourite with Lammy Surge in this. What's he going to do? Did he bleed last time, I think? But, I mean, he travelled like a dream the time before at Cheltenham and didn't appear to get home. I mean, he's got more ability than this lot if he puts it all together, but that is a big if. I'd rather back Lil Rockefeller, because he's the complete opposite, isn't he? I mean, he's tough as old boots. He'll be staying on when everything else has had enough, and there's a lot of horses in this race who might not be up for the fight. Lammy Surge obviously heading those. You've got a couple of chasers in there, Third Intention, a different Gravy's been run over fence. It just looks a race full of, not very much.
OK, so Lil Rockefeller for the G-Rod. How about you, Kills?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sort of expecting Different Gravy to be fairly short, to be honest. I mean, he looked really good the first time over fences, then just made an absolute hash last time. So they're bringing him back over hurdles, reportedly working quite well. And he's one of those horses. He's either a blowout or he bolts up. And I have no idea what he'll do. I would prefer to back Lil Rockefeller just because he is tough. But it depends on the prices. But I'm assuming that Different Gravy will be fairly short.
OK, so what's the actual betting advice here?
The actual betting advice would be Lil Rockefeller.
Lil Rockefeller for the two lads. 3 for Lil Rockefeller, Rob?
No, I'm in the Different Gravy camp, just possibly because there's an awful lot of doubts about the others, and Different Gravy all week was favoured with us for the Pendle. So I just think the fact that they've gone for this race, and it's his first run over hurdles since he was running against Thistlecrack at Aintree. I just think he could be different class.
OK, anything else at Fontwell, G-Rod?
First race is interesting. Kilcrea Val looked a potential world beater when bolting up first time out. Never get to grips with Three Musketeers last time out. Market Raisin was a bit disappointed with that, but he's an exciting horse, and the Hunter's Chase is always an interesting race on this card. It usually turns into a real test, and I'm not sure that would be ideal for Montperain, who's likely to be, I'd say likely to be favourite. I'm not a massive fan of the jockey David Maxwell either.
Who are you going to tip there then?
I'll be laying Montperain if you're sure.
Lay Montperain. Kills, anything else at Font?
Nope.
OK, Rob, well, let's turn to Nace. Where the 350 sponsored by your very own firm. It's the Paddy Power Onside app Novices Hurdle. We've got 7 runners. And Rob, who should we be backing?
Yeah, it's a race. I'm presumed that any second now is going to be favoured after his win in Navan and then beating Crackmome at Punchestown. He will be favoured. He's not going to be much bigger than even money. This is a horse that many will know for the wrong reasons, but there's no doubt Lebaic has got an engine. Now he hasn't started the last twice, but when he won in Navan and Ruby Road, I just thought he was definitely a horse. Now, obviously,
why are they allowed to run? Surely they've got to prove they can jump off.
I think they get
and I presume he's done
goes,
that. Yeah, I
Shouldn't
presume
be
he's
two goes.
Yeah, I presume he's done that. I think he was warned off or something like that for a certain amount of time. So I presume that he's passed some sort of test. He's obviously a funny character, but he's going to be 7 or 8 to 1. I would have thought. Just you hope he starts, and then he might give you a run for your money.
Need to get Joe Tizard down there flailing his arms to see that story.
I'll do that.
only £100, isn't it?
That was weird, Kills. When you had a little vape there, not much smoke came out.
Hey, no, well, I was trying to make sure you didn't see that much of it, but I can.
Do you take it down?
This one, yeah. this one gives you loads of smoke, really.
What flavour is it?
Hey, it's some sort of coconut flavour. It's lovely.
Lovely stuff. Okay. So did we have a bet in that race? Sorry, Rob.
Yeah, Lebeck for me.
You're gonna trust Lebeck, are you?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Have either of you two got any thoughts on Sunday's Nace card? You don't have to.
Yeah,
Yes.
Oh right. Okay.
There's an interesting runner in the 320 People's Park. It's got on my radar as a good horse waiting to happen. Travelled well last time out. Didn't quite see it out as well as I thought he was going to. And see him running really well.
Okay, Kills.
Yeah, I was going to talk about that horse as well because I'm convinced he's better than his mark. But I mean, he doesn't look like his first choice, does he? Because he's JP McManus owned, and he was, he did drop away rather tamely last time. But in the 420, Clarkham is going to have to be right on top form to have a chance of giving £7 to Just Cameron. And I gather they're betting sort of 9 to 4 each or 2, something like that. Just Cameron absolutely thrashed Grey Gold at Weatherby last time. From the front, love soft ground. Grey Gold come out and won at Sandown, didn't it? So I think that's rock solid form. Very rare runner for Mickey Hammond in Ireland, and I think that'll win.
The thing with that race though is Lizzie Delond. Will he not go off at a bonkers pace and maybe take Just Cameron on early?
Just Cameron doesn't have to make it though.
Yeah, the pair of brown eyes could be interesting if he does. If those two take each other on, I mean, I know this horse finishes second, third, second all the time, but he could pick up the pieces if they went really hard.
It's a very peculiar race because it's called the We Show All Live Racing Chase, but it doesn't say who we are. Is it your mob, Rob?
Yeah, no, it is. We sponsor the whole card. It's our trials day. So
Right,
I still would have possibly stuck the Paddy Power name on that.
Show,
yeah.
Slightly missing the point there. Who wins it anyway, Rob?
Again, it's you rule out horses at your peril. I just thought Graham half mentioned he didn't go that fast in Navan over hurdles, but I just thought Alessandro Derlanda might have got a free lead on ground, and being a course and distance winner, I just thought he might have been the bet.
Okay, and if we only had one bet at Nace on Sunday, Rob, who would it be?
Maybe Space Cadet in the staying chase or the 2.5 mile handicap chase. He was well fancy for the Leopardstown chase, and he was beaten actually very early in the race. I know David Jennings is a fan of him. I think off 1-3-2 there's definitely a half decent race in him, and he's not entered in any of the Cheltenham races, so there's no excuses.
Thank you, Kills, for calling that out. That's the 320. Okay, I'm going to ask you a quick question. If you had a free £20 bet now on the Cheltenham Festival, who would you back? Graham Rodway.
Oh, that is a good question. Diego de Charmel, I think it's going to run in the county.
Okay, right. Kills?
Cole Harden, stay as hurdle.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like
If
that.
the ground is good, it'll win.
He did run well last time, didn't he?
Great race. Almost as well as he's ever run on soft ground.
Yeah. Okay, that's interesting. And Rob, who would you go for?
Uxie's Andra in the Ryanair.
Yeah, you're right there. Well done. That's the correct answer. Okay, G-Rod, what's the weekend hold? Are you working?
No, I'm off all weekend.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah.
You can't really do much though, can you, with a new baby, I don't suppose?
No, not really. I would love to go on to Kempton, but there's a family party on Saturday, so
everyone's going to come around and coo at little Evan, are they?
I'm going to have to be in attendance. And Sunday again, I'm desperate to get out racing because obviously I spent a lot of time indoors the last few weeks. But it's not really very fair on the missus, is it? Leave her at home with the two.
You're a good man. You're a good dad, as you were, Kills, when your little ones were born. You didn't bugger off and play golf or anything, did you? Or go down the pub?
I played more golf in the first month after my boy was born than any other time. I got down to about 12, which when you see how rubbish I am at golf, you wouldn't believe.
Are you thinking of having any more children?
Hey? No, we're well past it now, mate.
Are you?
Yeah.
You are?
Yeah.
Kirsty's not, is she?
No, she's past it for that. Yeah.
Oh, really?
We can't have, without help, they can't have babies at 50, can they?
Well, she's not 50.
Right, well, she's nearly 50, isn't she?
All right. She looks much.
She won't
much
thank
younger.
you for saying that.
Oh God, yeah. She's
What are you doing
aged
this
an
weekend?
awful lot better than I am. That's for sure.
Who hasn't? What are you doing at the weekend, Kills?
I'm working tomorrow, and then I'm off on Sunday.
What are you likely to do? Take the dog for a nice walk?
Yeah, well, I take the dog for a walk twice a day anyway. Yeah, I might go to Thornwell.
Yeah, you should do. Honestly, you should, Kills.
Jump in the car. It's only about half an hour away.
Exactly,
isn't it?
you should do. You won't regret it. Honestly, it's a lovely place. Rob, what are you doing this weekend?
Well, just on the topic of paternity leave, this time last year I was on paternity leave and I worked at Nace on the Sunday coming, and as we were leaving, my wife's waters broke, so 10 hours later.
Wow.
Yeah, so...
Got fond memories then. So your little one's first birthday this weekend, yeah?
Just gone, yeah, so it's probably a good thing that I'm in the office and not at Nace on Sunday.
Excellent stuff. Okay, well, we are back on Monday for the weekend review podcast, and the podcasts are getting even better because there is a chance every Monday and Friday to win a free bet with Paddy Power, so do join us for that. Have a great weekend.
Check out Paddy Power's new and exclusive Cash Card Plus, available to use online, at ATMs, or even down the local. Paddy Power, you beauty.